Good evening. This is the 6th time I've tried to film this now. The first two I had forgotten. First one I forgot projects and it was a hot mess. If you can hear that, Leo's running on the exercise wheel. He likes to vocally let you know that. Third one, finally had everything and I didn't save it. Fourth one, which was earlier this evening, my power cord wasn't charging my laptop, so he died. So now I have a new cord. I'm home. We are going to try this again, probably with some help with Leo over here. He really likes that exercise wheel. So that kind of wheel moving sound you hear is him on that. And he likes to let you know. Harry's around. We all love them. So here's the plan. We are going to try this one more time. You going to come up? And see if we can get this. Now, I do have all the projects next to me this time. I have my planner so I can do them in order. Because I think even before they were out of order. Because disorganized chaos here. It has been a very crazy last couple weeks. On my Summer of Starts, which I have started, I didn't get everything posted on Instagram. I actually went several days where I didn't stitch at all because I was just very frustrated with a lot of stuff and I couldn't focus. But I have my planner here. We are going to open this up and we are going to do these in order. We're going to try this one more time, and if this fails again, I may step away for a while. So, the month of May is almost over. I decided after my last video I would do my summer starts starting that day, that Sunday. Now, with that, I decided to kind of mimic school summer break. So around this time frame, schools were starting to get out for summer break, and I'll probably stop around the time they start again. So we will start with the first project. Like I said, I got it all. I got notes. I love these planners. Love them. Because I can see my month on top, my weeks on the bottom. I can see them both at the same time. That being the key. First one. And they're not in order over here, even though I double checked to make sure they were all here. They did not get in order. First one is, it's not the first one of the Ladies Garden Journal series. It was just the one I just picked. I'm going to have a bunch of hanging threads because I was doing this at work and I have no problems with hanging threads. So I started a hollyhock. I got most of the way across, a good portion of it. And it is in all the called for colors, which are all classic colorworks. I do have 2 skeins of each because there are several patterns. This is going to be on a 32 count. It's on Fantasy from Fortnite Fabrics. There's my little notes on this piece of cardstock. When I kit them, they're in Ziplocs, but I'm slowly switching them over to these nice little zipper pouches. A little bit easier, a little bit more durable than Ziplocs. Not a huge difference in price. So I've had this fat half for a while. Like I said, 32 count, so 2 threads. And that's why I got an extra of each hand-dyed color, just to make certain I had enough to get through that entire series. Now, they're 32 count. The reason for that is I do have the finishing kit that have the boards and the ribbon and all that to make that into the little journal book. So for it to fit right, it does need to be on 32 count. Which I overall don't have a problem with. I have a lot of 32 count in my stash because for a long time. That was my go-to. So that was the 10th and the 11th, because I started it on the 10th. I was at work on the ambulance and didn't have a lot of time, so I did work on it the next day some. The next day, we had our Tuesday night Zoom stitch along for Sassy Jack Stitchery. And that. So, which we do every Tuesday. It's from 7 till whenever. There is a link on the Sassy Jack's website on the homepage. It'll take you there. It'll load the password in and everything. Super easy. Because I don't remember the password. And that is the only night I worked on this project. And I will explain why. It is Meet Me at the Beach from Tiny Modernist. It's on 36 count Vanilla Latte by Stitche Me. And I did get the Baldani thread pack for this. And they are beautiful. It is not... I might have issues tonight. Probably because I've done this way too many times. So they're very pretty. I did use playing cards once again for my things. And they are Stitch. Seems like an extremely fitting choice for this project. Regardless of anything else. Now, I am contemplating restarting this. I love this fabric. It is a beautiful fabric. But the white color is so hard to see in person. Like, you have to have it right up on you. It shows up actually better on here than it does in person. It pretty well blends in. Now this is even using 2 threads, because I tried it with one, couldn't see it all. And it really didn't have very good coverage on this, so I decided to go with 2 threads. So there's a good chance this will go away and restart, just because I'm not thrilled with how that's looking. When I looked at it before, I was like, this is perfect. But I'm not liking how it's actually flowing from there. So I did only work on it that evening. And so the 13th and the 14th, like I started the 13th, worked on it some the 14th. I did do a new start later on the 14th for Stitch Night at the store, like the in-person one we do at Sassy Jack's. So we will start with the third one that I started on the 13th and worked on a little bit the morning of the 14th before I went to the store to work. And it is Maiden's Fair from the Courtney collection. So it's 36 count shell from Pictureless Plus, and there's this beautiful olive green silk that I have. Now, when I filmed this before, this has not shown up very well. This is helping it show up a little bit better, but it kind of washes out. It's an olive green silk. It has some strong yellow undertones. I cannot tell you the dyer, because when it was given to me, she had already cut it into. She had taken the hank, cut it into lengths. All that part of the work that most people don't enjoy. It was already done when she gave it to me. So I have this one in print because they are not PDFs. And so this is, I love this designer. I've done multiple. If you look on Instagram, like I've done several. So what I have done is I've started on this corner and I'm working my way across. What I'm doing is, like here where these symbols start, I took one piece of, because I'm doing it 1 over 2, took one piece and started stitching up this part until that thread finished. Came down and there's 2 actual rows of stitches across the bottom. So I have a strand for the top row of stitches, strand for the bottom, just stitching across. Then as I came to the outline of this symbol, I took a 4th thread, stitch it up till it's gone, and each time something's come off the base, that is what I have done. So I'm past the hand, and where this edge of the symbol comes up, because that way it will help me mark my space, and I'm just going to work my way across. And so anytime I pick this up, I will have the choice of either continuing across and doing the same thing, or going up and finishing where a strand comes off of. it made sense to me when I was looking at how I was going to approach this. I do have a random, this pink is, here is just kind of a marker just to help me keep count as I went across. And it will correspond with the thick line on the grid. So here we are. That's how far I've gotten so far on that. And that was basically one day, like really evening, because I worked during the day at the store. And then a little bit Thursday morning before I left to go to work at the store, because I was not on an ambulance that day. And I did not take it with me because I did do a new start at Stitch group that night. So this one I did work. Started Thursday evening. I did not work the 15th. So I stitched on it during the day a little on the 15th. And yes, Leo. I don't know what it is about it. Anytime he's running on that wheel, it's like he wants me to know he's playing with it. The ball pit, there's no talking. I just find balls from the ball pit all over my house. The other cats play on the ball pit too. They just don't drag the balls all over like Leo does. Hey, Harry, you back? So, at Stitch Night, I started the Goblins from Shakespeare's Peddler. It is on a piece of that 36 count vanilla latte by Stitch Me. And it is in all the kitted threads. Oh no, I started this after I got home because these are some of these DMC are from my stash. You can tell by the kinks in them because a long time ago I did bobbinate, and I don't bobbinate. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my thing right now. I like my thread drops, and I may go back to bobbins later. So I did start after Stitch Night. I thought I'd start that. I might have planned on it. I might have, because it's a hand dyed, and I did buy new hand dyes. But I have the vanilla bean, so probably afterwards. Somewhere on Thursday, this got started. And so I did start in the center because I had like a fat half of this vanilla latte when I started. And part of it went to that meet me at the beach. Part is on this, and I don't remember what the last part of it was. I did not kit them in this order. So the Goblins, got the INS Goblins started. And I already like it. Love it. There's no white. I should be good. So this is going to go back in here. And this next one is going to be something a little different. It is part of the summer starts, but it is going to stay out all summer and get worked on continuously because it will end up going to the store as a store model for a few different reasons. And there's a few different things that happen with this. If you were on my Instagram, you saw this beautiful piece of Atomic Ranch Haze. And I started this. And I started the ghost. That you cannot see, really. It's right there. You can kind of see it. It disappears just as much in person. And checking the flosses, it showed up pretty decently. So, rethought everything. Still with the Atomic Ranch, still with the Lugana, 36 count Lugana. Just went for lavender now. Much darker, working much better. But I'm loving this. So, here's where we are after restarting it. I started it on Friday, and when I started it Friday night, I got the little bats. That's all I'd gotten done. So I took it with me to work next day. And I started on the ghost in the houses. And that's when I found that. And I was able to get swapped out for a darker piece of fabric, thanks to Cam. Because this will be a shop model, so we were both thinking Haze was going to be awesome. And restarted it Thursday, and that's where we got on that. This is going to stay out, like I said, because it'll be a shop model for a big reason. We carry these almond M&M silks, and they are beautiful. So, genius me, I was in the thread room doing, what was I doing? I don't remember what I was supposed to be doing. Oh, I was supposed to be taking an inventory to do an order for some stuff, which I did get done, did do my job. And I saw all these hanging there, which, really, no, we haven't done much with. So I went in and converted a classic haunt from Hands On Designs to these beautiful silks. The only color that really isn't somewhat close is the one that's it's in the windows of the little houses. It's supposed to be huckleberry. And I forgot what it's, which is more of a yellow, which we didn't have, so I put this one, I chose this color instead. And I had some pretty solid reasoning. It wasn't too unlike to me. And when I was growing up, we did have huckleberry bushes at one of the houses we were at. And I remember them being much more like this color than the color huckleberry is that was called for. I don't remember the original called for. So I thought it looked much more like what actual huckleberries look like. But this will stay out, and this will actually be what travels with me to in-person stitch nights. And I'm going to work on it there. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one in piece in there too. Because it's pretty easy to work on while talking and doing other things. But because it will be a model, I do want to keep working on it. So this actually will be seen throughout the summer until it's done. Little Harry. Mm-hmm. No matter how much attention they need, they want more. So that ended that first week. Then we were pretty busy Saturday, like that night, and so when I woke up Sunday, I started a new one again. And this is another one by the Courtney collection. It is called Beasties. And I did do a center start on this just for ease. It is on 36 count Lugana Fantasy by Atomic Ranch. It's another beautiful one. Really can't see much of anything. I spent a lot of time Sunday doing housework, like laundry, meal prep, laundry, napping, because we had been so busy the day before. So I didn't really get too far on Beasties, which is fine. I love my Courtney collections. They typically, when I sit down and work on them, go relatively fast. That takes us through number 6. Now, seven and 8. I didn't stitch that Tuesday because there was some work stuff. We got super busy. Wednesday, we started a class at Sassy Jack's with Sharon Hostetler of Thy Needles Work. And so we had 2 projects that happened in that. One of them being the Margaret Tait needle roll and the other being her sampler. And she used a lot of specialty stitches since the class. So with the class, we got the kits to do it, to make our needle roll. It came with this 32 count latte by Zweigert. This was originally the fabric bag. I don't know where the larger bag went. And right off the bat, I made a giant mistake. This border is supposed to be in light green, not dark green. I did it in the darker green. So I'm just going to stick with that. I'm not ripping that out. I will swap out some of the dark green bands inside for light green to kind of put some more of the light green in. And it did come with the NPIs to stitch it. I'm going to need a little bit more of that dark green probably. And I do have some more in here. There's also the dark green that is part of the kit for the actual sampler. Now this has a bunch of the specialty stitches in it and will finish into a needle roll. So I only stitched on it that day in class Wednesday. And I actually got to sit and do a lot of stitching that particular day. Harry. You can see his face now. So, the second day of class was a little bit busier. I didn't get as much stitching time because I was doing a bunch of other things. It came with a piece of 36 count platinum from Zygarde with all the MPIs. These little thread cards were a gift from one of the other ladies in class, and I decided, perfectly fitting, that this MPIs for this piece go on those particular thread drops. And I really didn't get far. I did get the light green as the border. I have an A and started the band beneath it. That's it. I still need to go back and search these fabrics, because here's the thing with me. I know if I have raw edges, I am going to play with those edges and probably rip them apart. Like, I'll pick at them and they'll fray even more than they already have, and I haven't even picked at it. It just happens. It's just me. They fray and I pick at them. That's why I feel I need some serged edges on my fabric. I admit this. Hello, Harry. Here's the thing. He may look like he's about to rip somebody's face off, but he's back here purring. Just gonna say that. So, that ended this last week. And on Sunday, because Wednesday was really busy at work. I was there until like 10 o'clock at night doing the shipping for some stuff. So that was actually Thursday, Friday. I got my days off there. Total airhead me. So I originally filmed this on Sunday. So this next piece was not on the original videos. But since we have gone on, we are going to show as things have gone on. Boop, boop, boop. I didn't get very far on it. I did spend some time working because I went to the store and basically moved fixtures, cleaned underneath everything, swept, mopped, dusted. Overall, gave it a really good deep clean that we haven't had time for lately. And all I got done on Ghosties and Gourds from Hands On Designs is that. This is using the charted 32 count Picture This Plus Kermit. Yes. So it is 2 threads. It is using the called for color and cotton. They are not on a ring. Not very many, that's probably why. I was running out of rings there for a bit as I was putting stuff together. I have enough. I found them. I could not find them for a bit. So I need to go put these on a ring. I do love me a good Picture This Plus fabric. I do love Picture This Plus fabric, but I do quite enjoy a good hands-on designs piece. I've done a bunch of them, like I did several of the block parties. I have a few more, some of which are in the potential starts for this crazy summer. And as things get a little better organized, we're gonna go on with it. So, like I said, today's Wednesday the 27th. Yesterday I did another start. And we're gonna do a couple things with this. One, I had started one of this series called Gone Fishing. So this is not a public start, part of the summer starts, but it's part of the series, so it's in this bag. So that was in a start, and that's actually, I had restarted that. I had started on a different piece, kind of really way too narrow, because we got most of this series at Sassy Jacks, but there were a few we didn't have, and there was only one store that had all the ones I needed, so I ordered them. And once you do that, the Robin Pickens one has 2 patterns in it, actually. So if you do that, there's 30 of them for this Beneath the Waves series. Those of you that have followed my Instagram and I know that I spent some time working in the Caribbean. And I picked up scuba diving as my hobby. Because, I mean, I spent a lot of time swimming, snorkeling, being a beach bum on my days off. But picked up some scuba diving. And I love it. So this series is right up my alley. Which is partly why I started with this one. Because it's the scuba diving cat. But last night I started the Blue Ring Octopus from the Blue Flower. And that's where we are right now. This is actually a freebie. There were 2 of them that were freebies. The one from Blue Flower, and I forgot who else. So I do have those as well. And every one of these use these for cottage garden threads. I did get 2 sets of threads because I am doing all of them, and it is on a 36 count, so I am using 1. But hand-dyed dye lots. So I figured better safe than sorry and get 2 sets. So the original one I started, like I said, different fabric, and I cut it too narrow and just mess. I had a moment here. I had a not good organized moment. And I went and calculated, because they're all 60 by 60, so they come out pretty small, but to give enough to have multiple options on finishing, I decided on a 10 by 10 square. I think it came out to 9 by 9, but it just was easy. My head went, let's just do a 10 by 10, for good or for ill. Even if I had done them at a 9 by 9, I still would have needed a second yard of fabric. So, these are now on 36 count Oxygen from Atomic Ranch. It is a linen, not a Lugana this time. And I have, obviously, these 2 pieces already cut and serged. But I have my entire 2 yards cut and serged into the pieces. So these are going to be very easy starts for my summer starts. And since they're each on separate fabric, even if it was on the same fabric, like the Ladies Garden Journal, they would still be separate starts. So all those pieces are in here. So it's a little chunkier than the rest. And those 2. I went ahead and kept the one I already started in there so it didn't get lost and separated where I had to start it a 3rd time. That would be horrible. So that is 10 projects in the last 2 weeks. I could have had a few more in there. But some of these got 2 days for the fact that if I didn't have much, there's some very, very, very small starts in there. And really, I feel like I could have given each of them 2 days. I just didn't feel like going on. There were some that I wasn't in a groove on, or I only got a couple stitches on, so they were given a second day. And I could pick any of these back up. I could pick any of my older whips back up. I do have them set aside because I've been going through them and de-kitting and taking apart some that I will probably never finish at this point. My plan right now is because I'm not tired. My goal is to edit. So my goal is for this to go up tomorrow at some point. It may be Friday. Let's be honest. Because I suck at editing and I find it extremely frustrating. And every time I edit, I end up having to start over because I accidentally erased the video that I'm editing. I'll have this video saved. And then I copy it, and that's where I start my editing. It's not unusual for me to accidentally delete the whole thing as I'm editing. So it's not the editing that takes long, it's having to restart it sometimes. That's what Leo has to say. So my thought is I'm probably going to start another one of the Beneath the Waves patterns tonight. Yes, Harry. And I will have help, obviously. Oh, I heard Sweetheart there. Yes, Leo? You are doing an awesome job, Leo. Now the others will use that wheel, but not if I'm in here. If I'm not in here, Leo will use it, and that's why when he started meowing, it was to go, hey, come watch me. And he's now going, okay, watch me. I'm watching you, Leo. You're awesome, Leo. He's also a menace to society, just saying. He's orange and he's a kitten. And he's a boy. So the plan is I'm looking at starting another one of those Beneath the Waves tonight. Let's just be honest. I probably won't edit tonight. I may edit tomorrow morning when I have a fresh head. A fresh brain. But that being said, I will be working in the store tomorrow, so when I leave, this will be the one going with me. Classic Haunt will be going with me to Stitch night tomorrow night. That will be what I will be working on while I am there. And I probably will start. It's either that or another Ladies Garden Journal, because those are the only ones sitting right here with me. And it will probably be a Beneath the Waves. Like I said, I'm like excited about that series. So the plans are to just keep doing starts whenever. I don't feel like I have to start one every day. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I get more than one day or a part of it. The goal is to kind of have some hands-on stuff I've wanted to do for a while. And then, like, I kind of looked at a fall of finishes. So those Beneath the Waves are only 60 by 60. I have some of the Night Garden series from last year that I have not done or started. So those are also 60 by 60. That's the nice thing about this. It comes out at market every little series. That needle roll is pretty small, so that, who knows, I might finish that. In the summer starts, and I don't have them yet, is Mill Hill does Santas every summer, so that would be, my plan is to start this year's. Yes, Leo. Yeah. So, with that, I will let y'all have your Wednesday. My Wednesday night is going to start stitching before I go to bed. Some kittens and cat snuggles. Equally important. We're in here because the lighting's a little bit better this late at night, but you can see Stargazer from Abelia. That was the very first mirror that Abelia that I ever done. You can't really see that one from Hinzit Cats because of the glare. I really did a very bad job on framing that. That was one of my very first things I ever finished, and I don't know where I came up with the idea of finishing it like that, but I did, and it needs to be redone, and I will get to it eventually. So I hope you all have a great rest of your week. I will get this edited hopefully tomorrow morning or afternoon sometime and get this out to you. And hopefully the 5th time is the last time I end up needing to record this. So y'all have a good night, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.